text you.
If you're a Samsung fan, you might be interested in this TV right here. This is the Samsung Q7F. It's a entry-level television. So today I'm going to be showing you the 55-inch, and I purchased it around $500. Now this TV does have Samsung's AI features that shows you actors on a TV show, and you can see different movies that they've been in. But the problem is it's only going to be good for certain TV shows as well as using Samsung TV Plus. And they're using this AI technology to give you better images. And they're also using this technology with the Bixby voice command to make it a lot smarter. So you can see weather report, and you can use it to customize wallpapers on certain model TVs. And if you have a Samsung watch connected to your cloud, you can also use gestures to control the televisions to do certain commands. The Q7F has some decent anti-glare coating, not ideal for someone who has a lot of lights in the room, but I think it'll be pretty good for most people. I think you might be okay with the viewing angles as long as you stay within 78 degrees of the screen. If you're familiar with Samsung televisions, then you know the previous generation used edge lit, which is not ideal for most televisions. This TV actually went back to direct LEDs, which gives you longevity. So I think this is a good move for Samsung, but it does make the TV a little bit thicker. Now this TV doesn't have all these local dimming zones. It uses a technology called Supreme UHD dimming. According to Google AI, it says that it's going to help out deliver better dynamic picture, deeper black levels, and improve color accuracy. Maybe this is true, but we'll get to that when we get to the testing. Now, I will say that this TV is available from a 43-inch all the way up to an 85-inch and everything in between. So you're going to be able to find a TV that matches your particular size, whether it's a living room or a bedroom. Now, as far as picture quality, I think this TV has some really good colors on it. And they do have a feature called Color Boost that actually helps out bring out a lot more of the vibrant colors, getting the most out of the QLED technology. In my opinion, if you're loyal to the Samsung brand and you just want a newer model television, this may be just the television for you for an average consumer. The Samsung Q7F also uses dual LEDs, so you have blue lights and white lights. This improves the color accuracy and gives you a wider dynamic gamut. When it comes to sports, I think this TV does a really good job, especially for the price point, being that it is a Samsung television. I find that the colors are vibrant, they look pretty accurate to me, and I think this television is going to be good for motion as well. Now, I will test that out a little bit later on in the video, but for now, let's talk about movies. In my opinion, I think its TV has great colors, but I can't help but notice that you're not going to get those inky black levels, but that is because this TV doesn't have those local dimming zones. And I also found it interesting, when I went from movie mode to film rangers mode, I couldn't see any difference whatsoever, but I want to show you the different picture profiles so you can get an understanding how this TV looks. And I think the dynamic mode may be good in certain circumstances, but you lose picture quality. But I do recommend you leave it in movie mode and use standard for your normal television watching. That'll be your choice. But if you want to get the best performance out of this TV when it comes to movies, I think you need to find HDR content because it brings out the best of this television. Not only that it's a little bit more brighter, but it's a lot more accurate. And I like the fact that this TV looks more natural in HDR mode. And I used the Apple TV to be able to switch through these profiles so you can see what it looks like. For the life of me, I just don't understand why people don't add a soundbar to their TVs, because this TV has 10 watts by 2, which is not a lot of power. And a lot of cases, you're not going to get the best performance, especially watching movies. Just imagine going to the theater and you see all these huge speakers, but then you watch your favorite movie and you got 10 watts by 2. But here's what it sounds like.
Tennessee, while the cold here in Sweden got the best of me.
Now this TV does have some different sound modes like standard, amplified, and then you have your TV outputs, which could be your TV speakers, but you do have Bluetooth connection as well, where you can hook up headphones or a external Bluetooth speaker, but you might get some lip sync problems in some cases. And then if you press on all settings, you'll get this larger menu where you can go into the different profiles such as your outputs, your sound modes. And if you get a compatible Samsung soundbar, you also have Q Symphony, and this allows you to use the TV speakers and the soundbar at the same time to give you a more immersive experience. This is where you control the eARC for external soundbars, and you can control the delay of the audio, and you can have auto volume control for those annoying commercials. Another thing I want to mention about this TV, if you download the Samsung SmartThing application, you can control all the functionality, and you also get a feature where you can calibrate the screen. Now, I went through this process. It took me about 3 minutes to get everything up and running. After I calibrated using the SmartThings application, I didn't think it looked as good as the filmmaker's mode or the previous settings. So far in this video, we talked about some technology, I showed you picture quality, and we went over some audio tests. But now it's TV testing time. The first thing we're going to check out is dirty screen effect, and what I can see here is that it's got some vignetting over in the corners, nothing major, but the rest of the TV seems to be pretty solid overall as it goes through the shades. But I did notice just a little bit of blotchy areas in the center of it, but not anything that will be a deal breaker. With the TV in movie mode, I found that the skin tone seems to be a little bit more on the magenta side, so it doesn't appear to be the most accurate TV I ever saw, but it actually doesn't look too bad considering the price point of this TV being a Samsung brand. You'll also find that the motion is good for 24 frames per second and smooth like butter at 60 frames per second. And I didn't notice any type of blooming on the television, but keep in mind it's not going to be the blackest screen that you've ever seen. But I don't think blooming will be a problem whatsoever. Now, from the history of Samsungs, I think they have a really good upscaling capabilities in the television, and the fact that this has AI is making this 420p content look pretty decent. And Samsung's the best in the business when it comes to zooming and positioning your screen with all types of controls, so you can take that older content and fill in the screen. But keep in mind that you might be cropping some of the footage off to do so, but at least you have these options available. Now back to upscaling, I think 1080p is going to look great on this television, and it's going to look more like 4K because as I switched over to 4K footage, I couldn't tell any difference from this versus the 1080p that I played before. In my opinion, I think this is a decent television, not saying it's perfect. It's not going to have the blackest contrast level, it's not going to have the brightest screen, but for Samsung it has everything that you need. You have the new AI technology where you can see the actors on the screen, and it's going to be good for anybody that's in the Samsung ecosystem. Now, one thing is going to be my gripe for a long time is the remote control that comes on the newer Samsung TVs. For one major thing, this is an older Samsung remote and it has a source button, so if I press this, I can change inputs on the TV, where on the newer remote control, you pretty much have to go through some of the menu systems just to change the input. So I think Samsung's relying on CEC. So if you turn on your PlayStation, it'll switch over automatic. But I think it needs a source button for easy access. But with that being said, the colors on the TV is good. And I think the viewing angles are decent. It's a VA panel. A lot of people want that. And if you're looking for, again, a Samsung TV on a budget, this might be the right one for you. So I hope these demos helped you out and help you make the best decision for yourself. With that being said, thanks a lot for watching. I'm Tech Steve, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.